Welcome to our ASMR dog panting podcast. That is Bri.
And that is Amy.
Could you imagine? I bet there are ASMR podcasts.
That just have like dogs breathing or just people breathing.
Just people. I could be part of it because there's a lot of times where you can hear me go,
Same.
when I'm breathing.
I think, like, especially when I have like a lot of anxiety, I'll just like my chest gets tight and I'm just like, this feels good.
I was talking about on the podcast.
Oh, I meant just, daily life struggles.
In general,
Mm-hmm.
that's not this is not an ASMR podcast, you guys.
Yeah, we're a true crime and paranormal podcast called What's with the Neighbors.
And this is episode 48. Hey, Jesse.
47. Is it 48? Oh, son of a biscuit.
Yeah, 47 comes out this week.
I mistitled.
Are
you sure?
Positive.
Are you sure?
Oh, now I'm not positive.
Because I double checked earlier.
I labeled all of them this week 47.
Okay, 46. Okay, so 46 is coming out, and so this is 47. Wait, you just said it's 47, didn't you?
No, I said 48.
Well, 45 is
Can you
the
check
last
Patreon? See what Patreon says?
Whoops.
Jesse, give me my papers. Ow, my back.
Oh my gosh, dude, what did you do?
I did the immersal.
It's 46.
On the scheduled posts? That came out today?
Yeah.
It says 46?
Episode 46, yeah. So this is 47.
What is my... Oh, you know what? Let's see what I said. Maybe I was thinking 47. 47.
Did you put 47?
Yep.
I was about to say, crap.
So... Everyone was right except for now Amy. Past Amy was correct. For those that don't know what Bri is doing, she's doing push-ups because she's not buff enough. So, oh my gosh.
I have more than my sister now. She said she did 75 today. I did 70. Now I did 80.
I'm so proud of you, Bri. Okay, there's one thing I don't like about this. I feel exposed.
Oh, like you're like out in the open?
You're like just sitting here.
I think you need a bigger... Where did you get this giant...
Fred Meyer's.
I think we need to get another one of these.
Yeah.
For
Get
you.
another one and that would be perfect for us.
Yeah.
And maybe like a tablecloth. Because I really liked the tablecloth.
Yeah, and it helps with the noise too.
Yeah. We could just cut that tablecloth in half.
Throw pillowcases on them.
That's true. No.
It'd be more fun. It'd be easier to find a fun
Tablecloth.
spooky pillowcase. Or, yeah, like you said.
Yeah.
Pillowcase.
Yeah.
Or tablecloth.
Anyways, do we have any announcements this week? You can't do that.
Amy's new puppy's freaking out.
Sit. You can lay right there. Don't lay against that because you're making click, 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 click.
Announcements. We
haven't done that in forever. Announcements.
Okay, that's all she's got.
I got a new puppy.
Yes, Amy has a new puppy.
Did we talk about that on the last episode?
Yeah, we're having queso tonight.
Oh, that's
and salsa.
exciting. Yum.
And
my husband's going camping.
Adult beverages and board games.
Yay!
Yay! Those are the best things.
Those
ever.
are the best things. Rick, I swear. Oh my God! You hit the computer.
You liar.
Trying to make him feel bad. I dropped my dad off at the airport today. No more. Don't. That was Ricochet. That was Karma.
Don't hit the moneymaker.
It ricocheted and hit his hand.
Oh, good.
Thank you.
That was bothering me.
And you know what else it is? It's a little bit shorter than the other table than yours.
Yeah.
or a regular table, and so that's what it is.
Yeah. She's like, oh crap, I'm doing it again. Also, we have a new setup.
We do.
Because sorry, people who keep on hearing buzzing.
Yeah.
Don't have it up on full blast, so there you go. Then you won't hear the buzzing. But
True story.
We think that it might be because we're a little too close, so
Bri sunk.
We're trying something new out.
Yeah, we are. So who's going first this week?
Can I go first?
No. I have a neighborhood story for you then.
All right, let's hear it, buddy.
It's kind of long because I was going off of what you forewarned me about. So.
Oh, okay.
Here we go. Get a blanket and a pillow and nestle up because oh, it's coming. Hold on.
It's coming. It's coming. It's here. For those of you who are wondering what is coming, Amy has a baby chicken that is hatching from an egg that was in her pocket. His name is Fred. Fred Gobble. Even though he's a chicken and not a turkey. Do you guys want to hear something? Listen. Jesse. It's okay. Okay, never mind. Alright, you don't get to hear something. Maybe next time.
It was kind of a false alarm.
It's okay. I told everybody your dirty secret.
I like how she went over to you. Like, next best thing. Okay, so nestle up for this story time. One time my neighbor stole my cat.
Oh.
First, I asked for my cat back. She ran into my arms when this crazy woman opened the door. My neighbor then insisted that I was harassing her cat. Grabbed Marie, the cat's name, out of my arms and slammed the door in my face.
What?
Sorry. Leia texted me. I didn't read it, though. Naturally, I called the police and they came over. She argued with them for like 15 minutes while I was showing them picture after picture of me and Marie I had on my phone. Finally, I showed them all the papers I had for her vaccination records, adoption forms, etc. And they said, "Look, lady, I don't know why you're still keeping this up. We know the cat isn't yours. Please give it back to her so we don't have to forcibly take her."
What?
Then told me to go get my cat. Oh, sorry, excuse me. I skipped a sentence. Forcibly take her. She told them to get a warrant and tried to shut the door, but the officer stopped her, then told me to go get my cat. I took one step inside and Marie ran to me again and we walked out. She slammed the door while screaming at us and the officer told me to call them again if anything happened. I kept Marie inside until we were able to move about 2 months later. Every time she saw me in those 2 months, she would scream obscenities. Obscenities?
Obscenities, yeah.
She would scream obscenities at me and would tell anyone nearby about how I forcibly took her cat.
What?
Fortunately, no one believed her because apparently she had done this before.
What? You just go around taking other people's cats.
And it's my cat. No, it literally is not.
Oh, let me just go to the next neighbor. I heard they got a great cat. Let me just go tell them that that's my cat.
I will say, if someone tried to steal Leon, I would not blame them. He's handsome.
Beautiful. Yeah, I would steal him, but I love you, and I can see him anytime I want. So
very true.
It's kind of like being a grandparent.
Yes.
You get to deal with all the hard stuff, and I just get to see him and get the cuddles and love.
Yeah. And you have your own cat.
And I have my own cat.
Tony.
Oh, yeah, and here. Yes, I do, Tony.
Tony is her son. But he has to stay with me because she's a terrible mother. She does not have rights to him.
I don't have the official rights.
We
need adoption.
We called cat protection services, and
He was removed.
He was removed. So I am his foster mother.
Yep, his legal guardian
until his father dies. I'm getting off track here.
I like that was a different one. A different kind of neighborhood story.
Yeah.
Someone's stealing someone's cat.
Yeah. We had a lot of neighborhood drama this week, but I don't feel like I should share it because I don't want to.
Oh. Yeah, you're good. You're good.
I'll put on. We can do it on Patreon. I don't know if they listen, so they're not Patreon donors, though.
I mean, yeah, true.
Did I tell you? I ended up not telling you.
No, you told me you were going to tell me on the podcast.
So my dad's like, Amy, there's 2 cops at the end of your driveway. And I'm like, what? Because, like, immediately, why are there cops near me at all? Like,
right. Yeah, they're all down the road.
Yeah, what the heck? And so I go out there and I look over at the neighbors from my yard. I look over and see 2 cops standing at the neighbor's door. And I was like, whew, not me this time. And so they end up coming over into our yard, and they showed me a picture of one of the neighbor's sons. And they're like, do you know this person? I was like, yeah, that's so-and-so. And they said, well, he has a warrant out for his arrest for a DUI. And I was like, damn it. Because I've known his past.
Yeah.
And so I knew.
Is that typical?
It's typical.
Oh, that sucks.
And so I was like, damn it. Like, you're supposed to be getting your life together, yada, yada, yada. Like, and so I was a bad neighbor and I did what typical white people do and tattled on him. I told them where he lives, who his girlfriend is, but also don't run from the cops.
Yeah.
So
yeah, you should probably abide the law.
Yeah. So, and he's hiding. He knows there's an arrest out for him. So he's not
and
where
Amy's
he's
telling
supposed
it all on the podcast, so now he's going to come for you.
Well, he messaged me. Your
Oh.
son wants in.
What?
Your son wants in.
Oh.
Yeah. Come on.
Oh, is that supposed to be right there?
Well, I didn't have a stool to hang it up.
Tell me, baby.
Here.
It's okay. You can like
Put it on his table. On your table.
Don't you dare. You son of a... This is why I lost you.
So, yeah, so I ended up trying to call his mom that lives next door. And she didn't answer, and so I texted her, and she was like, it's an old thing that's not supposed to be a thing anymore. They were supposed to squash it, yada, yada, yada. I was like, oh, no. Like, I don't really care. Like, if you're embarrassed, like, don't be embarrassed,
Yeah.
sort of thing. And so he messaged me today, and he's like, I'm so sorry. Same thing what his mom told me.
Patreon. You're welcome.
You're welcome, Patreon. And I was like, don't be embarrassed. Like, I really don't care. So,
I'm sorry.
that's okay.
He's so... You like the camera, Tony? Are you a star?
You can't cuddle
this
there,
is like
buddy.
the Super Bowl whenever they have like the puppy bowl beforehand.
The puppy bowl.
Or like Big Brother, like in between, whenever you can watch Big Brother in the live feed,
Uh-huh.
in between like parts that you're not supposed to see on the live feed because it'll give it away from the episode that they're gonna film.
Uh-huh.
They'll have like cats or dogs at a rescue and just watching them play in a room.
Oh my
And-
gosh.
This is basically like Big Brother live feed,
I love that.
pausing from the drama. It's so cute.
Hold on a second.
You're good.
Alice! Will you go down to Leia's and get your package?
Oh my god, Amy.
Well, it was one package. I
Oh,
ordered
this
one
is another
order
thing.
and it's separate. They separated it all. Yeah, I looked to see if I could change it. And
Ah, don't you do it, mister.
Are you gonna go? Are you gonna go get your package? From Leia's? Okay. Anyways.
Say hi to Snapchat.
Hi, Snapchat. Oh, hi, Snapchat. How is it?
How is it? How's the spaghetti? I don't know.
I thought it was like your own personal Snapchat.
There's Tony.
Hi, Tony.
And there's Jessie. Goodbye.
Bye.
Sorry.
That was
Okay.
like how I changed my tone.
Stupid. You're like, oh, hey.
Snapchat.
Okay, I'm sorry.
You're good.
Interesting neighborhood drama. My neighborhood drama consists of a lot of fireworks that have traumatized my 2-year-old. Now she's afraid of loud noises. Thanks.
I ran into that one of my old neighbors that just recently moved at the gas station, and I told him about our neighborhood drama. And he's like, I don't miss that.
It's so annoying.
I know.
Guys, does anyone in Alaska like to set off fireworks, like big expensive fireworks in the middle of the day, or when it's just still
like,
light out?
Like
a very
yeah.
It's clearly an expensive firework because it's very loud and it's one of the pretty ones. But like, why are you blowing up your money in the sky?
And you can't really see it.
And waking my children up and making
at
them
10
cry.
o'clock at night when it's still light out.
Whatever. Anyway, so I have Are you done with the neighborhood drama? Do you have any more?
I think I'm done with neighborhood drama for today. Thank you.
I've
had enough.
I've had enough. We can go on now.
We can move on.
So I started this. Did you just whack your tail at me on purpose? Woo. It's fine. So last week as I told you, I had started a couple different stories, and this one I kind of wanted to finish. So
yeah,
I am doing the Ryman Auditorium, aka the original Grand Ole Opry. So
how exciting! In Tennessee?
Yeah, yep, Nashville.
Oh my gosh!
Yes.
Bri.
So the
Stop crying.
I'm so sorry. So it was built in 1892 by a Thomas Ryman. Thomas was
I have a hole in my chin.
He was a wealthy businessman, and that was by day, and then by night he was like a party guy, drink, and was like in the night scene. He owned multiple saloons and a fleet of riverboats, and in 1885, while in town, he attended a tent revival, which is like a church service, like in a tent, like a traveling church service.
Gotcha.
And it was held by a guy named Sam Jones.
Some have traveling circuses.
Some have traveling churches. Just depends on what your thing is.
I want to know. I want to know more about that. Do you have more information about that? Because I want more information about that.
I think it was pretty common then.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think it was that uncommon.
It sounds very culty.
Yes, it does. I agree. I thought so too.
Go ahead.
Okay. So after attending this church service, he was immediately inspired to change his life and put it into perspective.
Okay.
He banned drinking on all of his riverboats and closed up shop with anything having to do with alcohol, and he was now like a religious guy.
Mormon.
Changed his life.
Some do it.
He told Sam Jones, the reverend, that guy would no longer have to preach in tents anymore whenever he was in town, and so he put down a down payment for a church called which would be called the Union Gospel Tabernacle.
Tabernacle.
It's a mouthful.
But why does tabernacle sound like Almost like a Christmas cookie.
Yeah, it does. Try the Tabernacles. They have cinnamon on them.
Have you had any of the Tabernacles?
They have a great little crunch.
They have a nice crunch.
Love the Tabernacles.
Love the cinnamon in it.
Can we just make some cookies this year for our Christmas episode and call them Tabernacles?
Absolutely.
Awesome. The building took 7 years to construct, and it costed $100,000, which equals out to $3,015,926 today.
Thank you. I was gonna ask.
It was way above budget.
That
apparently.
is a lot of money.
Yeah, especially for then, $100,000. So Sam insisted that the building be named after Thomas Ryman because he's the one who started the process and had it put up and everything, and he's like,
sure.
It ought to be named after you. And he's like, nah, we're gonna name it the Union Gospel Tabernacle instead. It's way easier to say. Makes the UGT.
The UGT.
It's
a UGT of Tennessee.
Hey, you know me, UGT. I'm so glad that you did that. Blah, blah, blah. After the completion, the first concert was held on May 4th.
Concert?
Yes. It was, they had lots of things going on there, not just church services.
Sure.
So they had a concert
Typical
there.
Church.
Exactly, yeah. It's just a place. They had a concert there held on May 4th in 1892, and I know May 4th is not necessary to say, but, May the 4th be with you. So it was a charity benefit and was quite the rager. And, a ton of people came, but it actually ended up losing money. So, the money that they gained from it, I guess just so many people showed up, and it ended up costing them more money in, food and stuff.
Oh, it's because they were giving the food away?
I don't know. I have no idea how they
Someone doesn't know how to do business.
I know, right? Later that month on the 30th, Reverend Stewart, standing in place for Sam Jones, came to preach, and 4,000 people filled the building.
Holy smokes.
Yeah.
How big was this church?
It was big, but not that. It was packed. And so it was becoming really, really popular, and they were realizing we don't have the capacity for all these people.
I feel like it was this is the first mega church.
Right? Yeah. Oh, my God. I need to watch all those. That mega church documentary thing.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's on Netflix.
Stinking Bethel.
I know. It was becoming big, and they didn't have the capacity for all these people. So in 1897, after hosting a reunion...
Yeah.
Can I come in?
Why?
I need help.
What?
I need help with my shoe.
Go ask Dad.
I can't because
Go put other shoes on, Alice.
these are my only tennis shoes.
No, they're not.
But I want the pair that is
Alice, look for other shoes. Wear my slippers. You're being ridiculous. Go. Start that sentence over again. I'm sorry.
Hold on.
Oh, it's coming.
You need to step out?
I'm not ready yet.
Okay.
But it's bubbling. That's good, right? When you have the bubble,
Bubble guts?
No, it's not bubble guts.
You just need to let it all out. Just
I'm
push
trying.
It out.
I sat on the
Push
toilet
it.
trying.
Push it real good. You're welcome, Patreon. I already told them what it was. It's fine.
Do you know how
I told them you were hatching an egg.
with the babies you do this with their legs?
Yes.
I do
yes.
that.
Yeah. Or massage in figure eights.
Yeah. I'll do that afterwards.
That's a good one. That felt good. I'm so sorry. That was rude.
Okay.
You need
How
some peppermint
dare
oil.
you.
Have some peppermint oil. That'll push you through. That makes me poop too.
How-
Crazy.
How dare
It's
you?
slides it through. Gives it a little lubrication.
Get your flatulence out in front of
Flatulence.
me when I want to.
Flatulence. My flatulence is so flawed that you call it flatulence.
Redo that sentence.
Okay, so after hosting in 1897, after hosting a reunion of Confederate vets, the Confederate vets were so happy with their experience that they actually provided the funds to build a balcony, which gave them more room for more people. And it was named the Confederate Gallery and was the spot for rowdy crowds to hang out. So all
Sounds
the
about
party
right.
people were up there.
All the Proud Boys are there
Yeah,
now.
they were super loud and obnoxious. On December 23rd, 1904, Thomas Ryman died, and his funeral was held at the Tabernacle, where 4,000 people attended.
Dang.
Sam Jones, of course, was there, and he spoke at the service. And in honor, what?
Go ahead.
In honor of Mr. Ryman, he took a vote, and everybody agreed to change the name of the UGT to the Ryman Auditorium.
My question was gonna be, was the balcony inside or outside?
Inside.
So it was like a typical church balcony.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah, or like a
theater.
Yeah, theater. Yeah.
Okay.
That makes more sense. So even though the sole purpose of the building was for like worship, many other events were held here to pay off debts. And it was from like concerts to public meetings to plays, even boxing matches were held here.
Interesting.
Ryman had it all.
You could praise Jesus on a Sunday afternoon and then watch your boxing on Monday night.
You sure can. You know, just depends on... Hold on, I'm turning my sound off. I'm sorry, how rude. I always forget to turn off my sound because I forget my texts go through here. So, blah, blah, blah. Finally, in 1943, the Ryman Auditorium was used for the Grand Ole Opry. And I'm just going to stop it there. So, many people say, I'm done.
I was like, what the heck?
Grand Ole Opry is like a place for like it went on the radio and whatnot, and lots of country singers went there and sang there, and a lot of people started to believe that it was cursed because many people who were associated with the building had tragic, untimely deaths.
Elvis Presley.
Actually, yeah, he did sing there, so yeah, he did die on the toilet. He did.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, he died on the toilet.
Marilyn
Elvis.
Monroe. She didn't sing.
I don't think no. Just happy birthday. So and I'm going to mention some of the examples.
Okay.
On July 30,
sorry.
Yeah. I've got you, dude. So on July 31st, 1915, Thomas Ryman Jr. This one wasn't listed in the examples, but I thought it was worth mentioning. So Thomas Ryman Jr., Thomas Ryman's son, was killed. It wasn't in the auditorium, but he was shot. And I found it interesting that same day a fire started in the basement of the Ryman and destroyed the stage.
I bet he
Maybe
back.
the dad was like, I'm so mad, I'm gonna make fire everywhere.
Rage of fire.
Avenge my son. Sorry. Also,
did he avenge? Because if the person didn't die,
I mean,
then...
they no.
Yeah.
He didn't. It did no good. It just made the firefighters have extra work.
That makes sense.
So also a string bean, not string bean, Aikman and his wife were murdered by thieves in 1973 in their own homes.
Okay, but I want to know how many people called him String Bean.
I know. I know. I was like String Bean. That's a weird name. And I was like, oh, String Breen. That's still weird.
Brain?
Breen. B-R-E. There's just an R there before Eaton. It's like string bean, but with an R. B-R-E-A-N.
Someone messed up.
I know, right?
Down at the county.
Right?
County records.
Somebody messed up his ID. Also, Ira Louisvin, his wife, and two friends were killed in a head-on collision in 1965.
Oh my gosh. Wait. Okay, go. Okay, so I'm sorry. These people aren't necessarily dying there, but
no, they're all
there.
associated with it. Yes.
Gotcha. Sorry, I was very confused for a second.
Yeah. Jim Reeves died in a plane crash in 1964. The Cowboy Kappas, Randy Hayes, Hawkshaw Hawkins, and Patsy Cline also died in a plane crash.
Patsy Cline?
Mm-hmm.
Was part of the Cowboy...
I guess.
Interesting.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
She did her own thing.
Texas, I think she did as well. Texas Ruby Fox died of smoke inhalation after her house burned down.
Oh my gosh.
A Jack Green believed he almost died from the Opry jinx, is what they all called it, when he was almost hit by two semi-trucks on the highway. And Hank Williams Jr. also almost died in 1975 when he fell off a mountain in Montana.
Sounds about right. You know, I'm gonna
He's like
see that mountain over there.
I could see he probably was super wasted.
Super
Did you
high.
Aggie jump from this mountain to
I'm
that
gonna
mountain?
go jump from the mountain.
What's this?
You
And he
see
just
that
falls
mountain over
face
there?
first down.
One of these days, I'm gonna die off of that mountain.
It's gonna be today. So that's just a lot of weird things that have happened.
That's
to people that are
bananas.
associated with it. Yeah, I mean, it is a lot of weird, like a lot of plane crashes, which is surprising. What?
Have you ever watched the show Nashville?
No.
Oh, never mind.
Bye, love
Bye.
you.
Be safe. Can you text me where you're going? Oh, okay. Okay, I love you. You
Okay,
too.
thanks.
Okay, well, some people have that aren't just, lame. In the show Nashville, it's about country artists that are like famous.
Yeah.
And
I think Josh just wanted to watch it.
it's really good. I like
He'd
it.
probably like it.
But one of the country artists, it's more drama-y. I gotta go find them.
Yep, you're fine. Her back has been hurting really bad. Don't hurt her. She's precious cargo. I believe I can fly. I believe I can touch the sky. Think about it every night and day. Spread my wings and fly away. I believe I can soar. See me running through that open door. I believe I can fly.
I heard you singing.
Maiden.
Jesse, you've taken up all the air in here.
Oh my gosh. I want to see the new Maverick. He is so fun. Woo!
So
Makes my teeth sweat.
one of the famous artists in the show, she's like kind of like a Carrie Underwood.
Yeah.
Like portrayed as a famous person like that.
Yeah. I think I know who you're talking about because I've seen like commercials and previews.
Yeah,
for
the
it.
blonde.
Mm-hmm.
She gets in a plane accident.
I bet they did that because Patsy Cline.
Maybe.
I don't know. Is it an old show? Is it like based in an older time?
No.
It's current. Okay.
Yeah, they talk about famous people like Carrie Underwood
Okay.
and Miranda Lambert and stuff.
Miranda Lambert.
Mm-hmm.
We, I can't remember how she is involved in something in our family. I don't know. It doesn't matter.
It's interesting.
I don't know. Something with my cousin's bracelet company. I don't know. Anyway, maybe Miranda Lambert bought some bracelets from them. I don't
Oh,
remember.
that's cool.
They make like really pretty custom bracelets.
So you're basically famous.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean, we're related to the drummer of Led Zeppelin. We were, because he's dead now. And we're also related to the guy who made the television.
I just farted.
That was a fart? I thought you scratched something. Did you really?
Yeah.
Good job, buddy.
Thank you.
Yay.
I didn't know it was coming. Otherwise, I would have stepped outside.
I did it. I love our friendship.
You're welcome, Patreon.
I didn't hear the one I ripped last week or earlier this week. You said, "Did you fart? That was a good one, buddy." Welcome to the neighbors, where we talk about flatulence. So, do you need to step out?
No, I'm
Okay.
good.
So I'm going to talk about some ghostiness that goes on there since then.
Yay.
Now, since this was his building, he has to stick around, Mr.
Sure.
Ryman.
You make sure everything goes
Exactly, smoothly,
Yeah.
and everybody's, got their ankles covered and whatnot.
ankle. I was so confused for a second.
There's no like dirtiness going on.
No drinking around here.
Yeah, exactly. Stories go all the way back to the 1900s, which I thought was really neat.
Wow.
Which was not long after his death. The Ryman Auditorium was putting on. One of the stories involves the Ryman putting on somewhat of like a risque show called Carmen. I'm not sure what it is, but apparently it was a little
Like a
flashy
burlesque?
I don't think so, but I think it was just like some things happened in it that were a little inappropriate to his. That would have been inappropriate to his taste. And with him being old-fashioned and religious,
Uh-huh.
he definitely would not have approved. At least that's what the crowd believed.
Right.
And during the show, guests heard like so much commotion and things banging around behind the stage to the point to where
no.
people were complaining that they could not hear the show, and it went on like the entire time.
And
And it's occurred more than once.
has it when there was nothing going on?
Like usually when bad shows would happen, I guess, or whenever things that he would likely not approve of would happen there.
My question was, like they look behind and there's nothing going on.
Yeah.
Interesting.
There's not someone back there banging around and stuff.
Oh, snap.
Also, for many years, a gray man, they come up with the greatest names, has been spotted on numerous occasions, usually not during performances, but after closing or while maintenance workers are there.
Oh, man.
Workers have claimed to have seen him sitting up in the balcony after the audience has left, and sometimes at rehearsals.
Oh, my gosh.
Then once they go up there, like, oh, someone's up here spying to see this rehearsal, they'll go up there to try to catch them, and they're not there.
He's
There's no
not
one there.
Because he's gray.
He's gray. He blends in.
Yeah.
Apparently, the upholstery's gray. It's gray.
Absolutely.
But that's where the Confederates sat, and they wore gray uniforms. That was their
That's
uniform. So they think
right.
that maybe it was like a Confederate soldier or something.
Oh.
Yeah.
Creepy.
Another spirit that's been reported is the lady. Again, another classy name.
Very,
guys.
very original.
Great job.
Yeah.
Which is believed to be Patsy Cline. She has been seen and heard singing on stage.
Oh, my gosh.
I think that's really neat.
I love that so
Yeah.
much.
She's like still doing what she loves, I guess.
Yeah.
In 1943, crew members heard footsteps coming from inside the empty theater, and as they looked up, they could see dust dropping down at the edges of the ceiling panels as like the footsteps were going, like someone was walking upstairs, and they're like dipped out. Bye.
I don't like that.
Yeah. Also, while rehearsing, a Bill Anderson, I'm not sure who that is. Don't kill me, guys. I don't listen to that much country music. My husband does. And I don't know names of singers, so.
Shame.
He was strumming his guitar to his favorite Hank Williams song. I know who that is. And when suddenly the building blacked out with no explanation at all, no like switch or no like no breakers were flipped or anything like that, no storms were going on.
What the heck?
No explanation at all, and he described it as like an eerie feeling.
Ew.
Also, a white mist was seen on stage by an employee suspected to be Hank Williams, not the employee, the white mist. He also got kicked out of there too. Like he was not allowed to return back to the Grand Ole Opry, and they think that they see him so often there because he's like out of spite. Like
I
I'm
can
gonna
be
come
here
back.
now.
I'm dead now.
And it's the mist from all of his weed that he's smoking.
Hank has also been seen in the alley behind the Ryman that leads to a cocktail lounge called Tootsie's, which he would often visit between sets.
I love that.
And lastly, Hank's voice has been heard singing in the auditorium and heard his songs playing on stage all by themselves with no explanation.
Like a full, like you can clearly hear his song.
Yeah, people say clearly, like you can hear someone clearly singing in there. And also people say Patsy Cline's voice has been heard as well. So there wasn't too many paranormal things. It's just a little eerie little things in there going on.
That.
Yeah, I thought it was neat. As of today, the Ryman Auditorium is still popular. It's a popular venue for entertainment. You can still go there, and it is open to the public for guided and self-guided tours. And I believe it's also a stop on a ghost tour in Nashville.
We'd have to go there.
Yeah, definitely. It sounds pretty cool.
Yeah.
And apparently it's really pretty, and it's kept up.
Oh,
Really
I'm
well.
sure.
So that is the Ryman Auditorium,
Thank you.
aka the old Grand Ole Opry, but now the Grand Ole Opry has moved to a new building because they needed to move it for
bigger reasons.
Yeah.
It's not a church anymore.
There you go.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
it still
for
has
sharing.
pews in it.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Apparently it's really uncomfortable. Like I was trying to find Yelp reviews and I couldn't find any scary ones, but everybody was like, it's a great place to go. They put on great shows, but beware, you're going to be uncomfortable. So get used to standing the entire time because the pews are uncomfortable.
I love that. What? They cannot come over. Okay, well, I'm recording, so they can't stay. I'm sorry. No, you cannot. Fine, until I'm done recording. Love you, bye. She wanted cadence and...
They're outside. Yeah. It's her choice.
I know. Okay. Do you want me to tell you my story?
This is
So,
what I get from your child all the time.
Okay.
She texted me the other day and scared the crap out of me. I was like, who the hell is texting me? I was like, who is this? She's like, it's Alice. And I was like, oh. I was like, you never gave me your number. You scared me. She's like, ha 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 ha.
I'm sorry. I figured she should have your number for reasons. Like, you know.
Oh, yeah, she should. Definitely. Yeah. I agree. I told you that before. I just hadn't gotten it yet, and I was surprised.
Well, she was locked out of her phone for like 2 weeks.
Because she locked herself out?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I told her. I told her to be careful about that.
What?
Can we actually go to her house?
What's wrong with our house?
Huh?
What's wrong with our house?
They need to go to their house.
I'd rather you and Addie stay here. But if you guys want to go, that's fine. It's your choice.
Love you.
Love you, bye. I'll come home crying.
Did you tell her? Does she know that you're coming over after? So she can come over to my house?
No, I'll call her.
Okay.
Okay, so you might already know this story.
Okay.
And when I was looking up a specific theme for this story this week, surprisingly, there's not a whole lot of detail by detail information.
What the hell are they doing?
Making wine. They're smashing the berries.
Are they really?
No.
Oh.
I mean, why are we stomping that much? Surprisingly, there's not like a whole lot of details about white collar crimes. Surprisingly.
Okay.
There's like
that is surprising, actually.
Yeah, and probably because it's not as entertaining. I'm not sure. But I was looking up like major white collar crimes, and maybe it was the way I was researching it. I'm not sure, but like I would get like 2 or 3 paragraphs and that was it.
Right.
Surprisingly, actually, FBI gave more details. Like the FBI website gave more details than like news articles.
Oh, that's surprising.
So, yeah, but it wasn't like enough for me. So, I went a different route. Who, because he was recently exposed by Netflix, there was a lot more details about this gentleman.
Oh.
So that's why you might know it because you watched it this
Oh.
week. So I'm going to tell you about David Rigmaiden.
Oh.
Daniel Rigmaiden. Daniel Rigmaiden.
Nice. Yes. Yes.
So,
Yes.
obviously I watched The Web of Make-Believe, Death, Lies, and the Internet.
Okay.
And I watched that a couple days ago, a couple days ago.
It's really interesting.
It's so interesting.
It's very fascinating,
And
and
then-
kind of like I hate to say it, but you're kind of root for some of them.
I know, right? Because the government sucks.
They're so smart, and they
are.
Man. Anyway,
Yeah.
sorry.
So, and it's not like he was stealing from other companies.
Kill anyone.
But
Anyways, spoiler alert. Sorry.
yeah, so there was a couple other websites that I was able to get more information from. But I did find one website that like I can't talk now. Counteracted everything that he actually like physically said in the documentary. They said like for example, he was born in Seaside. He was not. He was born in Monterey. He had a wonderful childhood. No, he did not. Like,
right.
It was really weird. So I had to keep going back.
You go by what he said.
I was going by what
'cause
he
he's
said.
The one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it was kind of funny because like I was trying not to go so much off of the documentary, and I was trying to go off of like articles and everything else
But
that I was
certain
finding.
little details you have
Yeah.
to.
And I was like, I really liked this one website because it gave so many details. And then it like I was getting down to like his childhood, and I was like, I don't remember him saying that.
Yeah.
So I was like, maybe I shouldn't trust this website.
Yeah.
So I had to take everything out that I saw.
Oh, that's so frustrating.
Anyways, it's okay. So
That's weird though.
yeah, it was kind of weird.
Yeah.
I was like, are you just making things up?
Yeah.
So Daniel Rigmaiden was born in, actually didn't take that out, in Monterey, California on September 8th, 1980.
Okay.
And his parents, David and Mary Jane Rigmaiden. His dad was an engineer, and his mom, I believe, was like a stay-at-home mom. And he had a brother named Sean. The two seemed to grow up in an angry environment. It wasn't a positive place to live.
Okay.
Daniel would hang out with other neighborhood kids. They would find places to skate until the police would run them off because there's no place to skate at that time in those years.
The good days.
I wouldn't know.
Seriously.
I always wanted to be able to skate.
I loved skating.
Skateboarding or
Just skating.
oh, I know how to skate.
I would always blade.
I always wanted to learn how to skateboard.
Oh, yeah, same.
Yeah, it's so cool.
I had the outfit for it.
Me too.
I was like the punk girl. You were
yeah,
too.
yeah,
The grungy.
yeah. One of his friends in the documentary that I watched, the Web of Make Believe, mentioned Daniel would do things we would talk about. He had like no fear. So they would be like, oh yeah, let's go jump off that bridge. And then he would go do it anyways. You know, like
Nice.
he'd be like, bet.
Do it.
So he always took things to the next level. And something I did learn is somehow during his childhood and into his young adult life, Daniel learned to hate the government and like how it ran.
Lots of people do.
Yeah, I did one the other day. That guy killed somebody.
Yeah.
So, he graduated high school in 1999, and at one point he was arrested for shoplifting. He was at the courthouse and he pled guilty to it. He was told to do community service and probation. He walked out of out of the courthouse into his car, and when he was getting in, the police officer pulled up and said he wanted to search his vehicle. And the officer found a stack of hotel receipts that didn't belong to him. So he was arrested for account fraud or bank fraud.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, and I really don't know how that's illegal.
I mean, I know like their credit card, but the last four,
The
on there,
last four
everything
are
else
on
is
it.
blacked out.
Yeah,
But maybe like that somehow they can get it.
yeah, I
Like
wasn't.
if they have the name of like
the
what kind
person.
of card, yeah, and then the person's name.
Yeah, it was really interesting because it had like their address.
It just makes you wonder
the-
what like they can get online.
Yeah.
From like little bits
little
of information.
bits of information. Yeah, and someone had given it to him, so it was really interesting. I was like, how is that illegal?
Yeah.
But I don't know. Also, that makes me wonder. Like, I throw away a lot of receipts.
Mhm. Yeah, we're really
So-
particular about what we do with our mail.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
same.
we
I
definitely
normally
don't-
shred
we
it.
don't- we don't do anything with our mail. We just either burn it or keep
It's
it
just
for like 3
Ever.
years.
It's just interesting
Yeah.
that. Ugh. Or when you tell them like, I don't need a receipt.
Nope.
Are they keeping it?
Oh, I
know.
did that today. Dang it. Please, guy at hardware store, don't get my receipt. I don't have any money anyway. It's
Yeah,
fine.
good luck with that one.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but the documentary mentioned it. So
Sorry, I'm gonna stop you.
Go
Real
ahead.
Quick. The guy at the hardware store was whenever I came up to him to check out, he was sitting there playing on his phone, like super obvious. Like you'd think that someone would be like try to hide it because they'd
Sure.
be afraid of getting in trouble. That would be me. But he
Yeah.
was like, "Sorry, I was playing a game on my phone," and I was like, "Oh, that's cool. There was no one else there. It was fine. It wasn't a big deal." But like,
Yeah.
I just know I would hide it. And he's like, it gets really boring here. He's like, we don't get a lot of people coming in that often. He's like, especially whenever it's raining out. He's like, you should see the wintertime. And I was like, and I was wearing my sweatshirt. I was like, you should listen to a podcast. And he just like stares at me. And I was going to bring up our podcast. And he just like stares at me like the most blank stare. Like, I don't listen to podcasts, lady. And I'm just like, all right, it's fine.
He's probably like, she's so woke.
I was like, or put you to sleep. It'd be fine. Never mind. Bye. Have a nice day.
There's also podcasts that put you to sleep.
Yeah. ASMR. We do that sometimes in our podcast. I don't know why I'm talking like this. Anyway, back to Amy's story.
That's how Bri talks when she goes to hardware stores and talks to strangers. So I tried to find out what happened to that arrest or more information about these receipts. But I couldn't find anything besides him mentioning it in the documentary. So it made me wonder if it happened when he was actually a minor. Eventually we'll finish this podcast, this episode.
I feel like all of our episodes have been like this lately.
Yeah.
Interruption after interruption. Damn animals and children and husbands.
So many husbands.
Did you find his inhaler?
Mhm.
Okay.
It was where it was supposed to be.
Go figure.
Yeah. So it made me wonder if that happened when he was a minor and it was like not disclosed.
Right. Makes sense.
Because I couldn't find anything about it besides the documentary, and unfortunately the documentary didn't mention how old he was
Okay.
at that time. So blah, blah. He served 3 months and was released. Then they lowered the sentence to a misdemeanor, and he was told to serve 3 more months. And he's like, bet. He took off. He ran away.
So he like jumped bail or
Yes. Or
Okay.
not jump bail, but he there was a warrant out for his
oh,
arrest,
okay.
and he ran away.
Oh, okay.
So
I
he
don't
became
remember that.
Fugitive from the jail sentence. He decided at that point that he wasn't going to be Daniel anymore, and he wanted to become someone else. Not in like a new life, new me
Right.
thing, but like
hide my identity.
exactly hide
Yeah.
my identity type
I'm
of
running
way.
from the law now.
Exactly. So his first identity he became was Chris Donnelly. He rented an apartment and started selling IDs online. He would make fake IDs and then just basically couch surf from college town to college town along the California coast. I almost said California toast, selling fake IDs.
It's probably a good market for that too then.
Well,
and along colleges, obviously.
Well, exactly. I said he chose college towns because it was easy to sell
Yeah.
IDs to the younger students, and he was able to have fun while he could because he still wanted to be enjoying his life in the 20s.
No.
Do not. He
He's
wanted
like,
to
what's it
still.
called? Oh, it's there. No. Do you want to be up high? No, 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 no. No!
It's still working. So he wanted to still enjoy like his young 20s and whatnot. So he really kind of that's one of the reasons. So that's one of the reasons why he chose college towns. And he was very careful to not tell anyone.
Kind of sad.
I know.
Yeah.
But he was also careful not to tell anyone he would, get semi close to about who he really was.
Right.
And it wasn't like he changed his entire personality. He was still Daniel, but he didn't have that name. So
Right.
it wasn't like he changed everything about him. He just changed his name.
Right.
And like maybe his date of birth and stuff. So after a while, he learned from another fraudster, is what I called them, how to file taxes for dead people. Because it's a huge problem in the world where dead people are not able to file taxes.
I've actually heard that recently, like last year, that was a thing that people will take dead people's money.
Yeah.
Like people who had just died. That's crazy.
It's
and-
a thing. Or like they continue to collect Social Security for them.
Like you would not think. It's terrible, but at the same time, like, holy cow.
I mean,
I want to get in on that. I'm just kidding.
I know I thought about it. We have the website. It might be shut down now. So, kidding. So he would learn their information, or he would learn their information. What am I saying? I worded that sentence super weird. He learned how to do this from the other fraudster, Brett Johnson.
Dun, dun,
Dun, dun, dun. They met from a website called Shadow Crew and Counterfeit Library, which, I mean, if you're trying to like hide counterfeit information, why are we naming the website Counterfeit Library?
Yeah. Right?
But Brett at the time had already gotten into trouble with the FBI and was actually working for them now to get other criminals arrested.
Right.
Because Daniel was so good at making IDs, he was well known with the bigger people on the message boards of the website. So Daniel was telling Brett, I need some way to make more money than what I'm making right now. And so Brett was like, how do you feel about tax fraud? And Daniel's like, hate the government. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
So actually, you know what? That last sentence was when I said after a while, blah, 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 he learned all this information. I was like, didn't take it out because I was like typing and I'm going to take that whole sentence out. Okay. So, because Daniel was so good at making IDs, I already said that. So Brett told Daniel how to pull off these tax return schemes. So Daniel started filing tax refunds for dead people. And with a few prepaid debit cards, he was able to accumulate $2,500 from the U.S. Treasury on each debit card.
Oh my gosh, that makes me...
I know. So, and he was like, wow, this actually works. Like, I'm actually getting money from the U.S.
crazy.
Treasury. Yeah.
That's not good, though.
No, it's bad. Daniel was like, nah, I don't want to sit here and manually enter this information, and this is taking way too long to, get these tax returns to these tax return companies.
Right.
So He actually created a program that would automatically enter all the information the company needed to e-file tax returns.
Which is really impressive.
That's very impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it is.
It's
That's
fascinating.
very impressive.
Yeah. He actually had made a database of all the deceased identities also. He had collected company EIN numbers for like employers.
Right.
From a different database than the identity of the deceased person from the database that he had made, and he entered it all into the software he created, and then the software would submit it to the different tax return companies like H&R Block and
Right.
TurboTax, and it
Yeah.
filed automatically.
How do you do that? We don't even have the capacity to make buzzing noise go off of our podcast.
Daniel, if you're listening
Come on,
to this,
dude.
can you come help
Come
us?
help us with our
We
sound.
don't want money. We just want.
Yeah.
We will pay you.
You can get a cut of my tax return, like
Yeah.
$10.
You know what? I will let you file my taxes next year. If you help with the buzzing. So he would then take the prepaid debit cards that he had, assigned to each of these returns and go from ATM to ATM to withdraw the money. With the cash, he would stack them in 10,000 and 50,000 increments, wrap them up, and store them in a storage unit or his apartment.
Yeah, I know how that is.
Yeah, I have a problem with
so
cash
many
too.
10,000 increments of money.
Everywhere.
Everywhere.
It's
I have no room in my pantry.
no room. It's starting to look like a Lego
It's
set
so
in here with
cluttered.
money. Yeah,
So cluttered.
I know.
Can somebody come organize my money for me?
Also, can someone come organize my money
Can
for
someone
me?
please? Just also, you have to bring money to organize my money as well.
Yeah.
So that's required. Thank you.
Come organize my money for me. Money not supplied.
Money not included.
Money not included.
I was about to drink out of my microphone. Really?
You weren't done.
Sorry, babies.
So he also purchased a lot of gold coins with the cash, and as long as he didn't purchase more than 10,000 coins at a time, it didn't get reported to the IRS.
Which is really smart.
Yeah.
Like Ron Swanson.
Yes.
He had a lot of gold buried.
He's doing it.
He's doing his lot.
Oh, man, it's barely getting... If his thing was scooted over just a little bit more. Sorry, Leon. So, unfortunately for him, some ATMs and debit cards he had would only allow so many withdrawals at a time, or so much allotted at a time. So some days he would spend 8 to 10 hours a day going from ATM to ATM withdrawing money.
He went to like different ones?
Yeah.
Okay. That's what
Throughout
I wondered inside the documentary. Like they showed him at like one gas, which was obviously a reenactment.
Yeah.
They showed him at like one gas station, but like did he go to like different places?
He would go
that would
from
make
like,
the most sense.
Like go to the gas station, then he would go to the bank, and then he would go to the grocery store and this and that, and like all over town just making his rounds.
Right.
So crazy.
Such a busy day of getting money.
I know. Poor thing. You know, he could spend that time entering the information, but he's not. Instead, he's collecting the
Right.
money. So he reported that the most he had withdrawn in one day was roughly $30,000.
Jeez.
I know. That's like how much I make in a year.
Like my car.
I know. I make more than 30,000, but
Yeah.
after all of my expenses, it's about 30 grand.
I would if we had more
Quote
Patreon
unquote
donors.
expenses. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yes.
So she doesn't know what I mean because I am illegal. I'm taking all of that out. So when he was 27, he talked to some people on the message boards of that website and hired them to open up bank accounts under false names.
Oh, okay.
Because he's like, I can't do this all by myself. Why don't you stop when you're ahead? You know?
I know. I would have just stopped and just like gone to out of country.
Like
Just
maybe like,
I really have to pee.
oh, okay. You're okay.
Starting to hurt.
Oh, you should have said something.
Go earlier, but Rick said he was going to poop,
Oh, yeah.
and I don't want to get shot.
Yeah. felt good. What a punk. So, yeah, I don't know. I would have stopped when I was ahead, but whatever. Maybe like 100
Could have
grand.
just gotten out.
Yeah.
Retired.
Yeah.
Retired and maybe coming back in like another 20 years.
When you run out of money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or just don't blow all your money in one wad.
I mean, that's true. So, in 2007... Oh, sorry, excuse me. So, in order to get the tax returns, Daniel was having the money deposited onto these prepaid debit cards. So, that's how he would get the money, obviously. But in order to get the prepaid debit cards, because you can't just have one, you have to have a separate one for each account.
Yeah. Holy cow. It's probably like so many.
Yeah.
I wonder how many
From
he
what
had.
I shouldn't say that that's exactly what it happened, but from what I was reading and from the documentary, that's what it sounded like.
Right.
But maybe like you could have a couple without a couple debit cards linked to multiple people.
Yeah, because you can have more than one account on a... Yeah.
Yeah, without the IRS being flagged. Yeah. I'm not entirely sure, but that's what it sounded like.
Yeah.
But in order to get the prepaid debit cards, they had to be mailed somewhere.
Right.
So in 2007, a man by the name of Ransom Carter, which, why are we naming children Ransom? Rented a P.O. box at the UPS store, and the UPS store reported to the FBI of multiple prepaid debit cards envelopes addressed to multiple people. Because, like, all these bank cards are getting sent to this one person's P.O. box, and they're like, that's weird. Why is Johnny D and
why are they all
Sarah Carter's
to the same address?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm so glad that you're going over this because I was not listening through that ending part of that whole. You're going through all the parts that I was getting distracted in because the girls were waking up from their naps.
Yeah, perfect. So they're like, that's super weird, and there were hundreds of tax returns being deposited into these prepaid debit cards labeled
super sketchy looking.
Carter Tax and Accounting. So the FBI is like, oh my gosh, we have this guy.
Carter Ransom.
Yeah. We found the money. But as soon as they found where Ransom Carter was, he was already gone. So that was a dead end. Over time, the FBI ended up taking...
How discouraging.
I know. They also learned, though, that Ransom Carter was not they called him the hacker. They learned, like, this is not the actual guy. This is, like, a guy that worked for him.
He's going by another name.
Well, and they found out that he was working for the hacker. Like, the way... I don't know how to explain it. Like, the way that they had, like, a tier, like a tree.
Yeah.
Yeah, they realized, like, he's not the hacker. He's just someone, like, a bystander working for him. So...
Going by another name.
Correct.
Okay,
and so
gotcha.
They also realized that they could easily, because they have, like, CIs that work for him or work for the FBI already in the fraud, like, message boards and stuff. They're like, we can easily take on this role of Ransom Carter.
Like basically going undercover?
Yes.
Okay.
That's actually what I said. I said, over time, the FBI ended up taking on the role of Ransom Carter. They were going undercover by earning Daniel's trust. So, they were giving Daniel small payouts, but never the full amount that he had, quote unquote, earned from the tax returns. So, which he was getting super irritated with this and impatient because he's like, where's my money? Like, you owe me my money. You're supposed to be giving me my money. Where is it? And so he's like, you need to give me my $68,000 that you owe me. So,
You need to give me my $68,000.
You know what?
Don't be greedy.
Insane. So, and it was from the tax fraud thing. So, he told his employee that he was actually the CI to package the $68,000 in cash after it had been washed in I said salt, but I know it's not the word salt. It's like a solution.
Solvent?
Yes, solvent. Thank you. That would not alert search dogs. Then double wrap in heat sealed packaging. Then place it inside a toy. Then wrap that in wrapping paper with a birthday card on top.
Jeez.
So it looked like a present that was going to a sick kid.
They just didn't want a drug dog to find it.
Exactly.
Because all money has cocaine on it. Apparently.
Exactly. I didn't even realize that.
Yeah.
I gotta stop licking my dollar bills.
Dang it. That's why I get so excited.
That's why I get so excited.
That's why everybody loves money.
Oh, that makes sense.
That's why.
We're all addicted to cocaine.
Money.
So they were to ship the box to a 24/7 FedEx Kinko's in California, and the package pickup person name would be Patrick Stout.
Short and stout. Got it. This guy picked the greatest names.
I know. So they sent the money. And the FBI scouted the FedEx for hours, and
they knew it was coming.
They knew that he was going to be going to the specific, or somebody.
So they were like, they had a couple guys at different locations, and
it was this because he gave them the address of this FedEx because you had to have it mailed to a specific place. So they just had people
like staking out.
Correct.
Gotcha.
And they actually thought it was going to be going to like an apartment or a house, and they're like, great, a FedEx. Oh, cool. It's a 24/7.
We have to wait for forever.
Yeah, exactly.
For hundreds of people to come in and come out.
Exactly.
Which is actually really smart.
I mean,
pick a public place.
The guy's smart.
Yep.
So, they waited for a long while. And it wasn't until 5 a.m. the next day, a young man showed up and retrieved the package. And when he made it a very specific point to not touch anything in that store besides the package. And even like opening the door, he like used like his sleeve, and getting out, he pushed with his back. And when he signed for the package, he used his own pen and didn't even place his hand on the paper.
That's smart.
Yeah, he was smarty pants. And the surveillance camera.
Didn't get any fingerprints, right?
Correct.
Okay.
What?
So he didn't get like any fingerprints,
Correct.
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I said correct, like a question.
Yeah.
And the surveillance camera wasn't able to pick up his face very clearly because of what he was wearing. So he's just like a really smart guy. I would want him.
He thought of a lot of things.
You know what he'd be really good at? He'd be good on the team of Ocean 11 or Ocean 10.
He would. Yeah, he would.
So Daniel, when he left the store, he knew he was being followed. So, because it was actually Daniel who did it. He like would do double crossing of the street, go separate ways. He would, go left 4 times, that sort of thing, to lose the agents. And he ended up ducking behind an alleyway and takes the cash from the package, and then takes off running to a train station and boards a train. And the FBI's were like seconds behind him.
Crap.
FBI agents were.
We didn't plan for this.
Well, and they didn't, because they thought he was going to pull up in a car and not walk.
Yeah,
and they didn't think he was going to take a train.
Who goes on a train?
Well, and that's something in the documentary. They said they're like, who takes a train in California?
Yeah,
nobody.
Yeah.
No, but he does.
Oh, it was in California, wasn't it? That's right.
Yeah.
I would think it'd be like New York or something if you go take a train, like a subway.
Yeah, exactly. No, but this train is like a little bit different than a subway, but it's very similar. Okay. It's like outside.
Oh, okay.
So.
I've never been on a train before.
Me either.
except for the
I've been-
airport.
Yeah, I've been on like
Atlanta. I've been on the Atlanta train.
that's a tram.
Really? You've been on Atlanta train? Train?
Wow.
Anyway. Sorry. I've finished my beer now, if you can tell.
I have been on a train in Disney World and Disneyland.
Oh.
It goes around the whole park.
Oh, I haven't been on that. I could have been on that. I could have gone. Apparently, that goes to resorts.
No, that's a
No?
monorail.
Okay, because we stayed at a resort whenever we were there last time, and we took a bus to all the parks.
The monorail goes to a couple different.
But apparently we were able to take the monorail to things,
Yeah.
and we didn't know it.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Where'd you stay? What resort did you stay at?
Pop Century.
The monorail doesn't go to Pop Century.
Oh no. Okay.
No.
Well, apparently we had access to it or something. I don't know if we were allowed to take it between parks or what.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
From
We were allowed to we were afraid to leave the park because we were afraid that we wouldn't be able to come back. We had 4-day passes or 5-day passes or something.
You didn't have park hoppers.
We did.
You could have left.
We
and
did.
come
We
back.
were afraid to.
You
We were
guys are
like, the minute
dorks.
we leave, we can't come back. We're done. But
Oh,
we were
that's
okay because
cute.
we were newlyweds, so we spent all of our time in the pool at the hotel afterwards. We went
Oh,
the park
yeah.
super early, did all the rides, and then went back to the hotel, drank, and swam.
Yeah, you get that's cute.
Ate a bunch of food.
Yeah.
Fell
No,
in
you.
a bush.
Huh?
I fell in a bush.
You fell on a bush. I thought you said. I don't know what I thought
we
you
had
said.
we had this really strong wine that his parents gave us. It's really strong. It
Was it
like
port?
no, it was I want to say it was 13 to 18%.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was really strong. And I drank 2 glasses by myself. And we were going to, because we had meal plans and everything.
Mhm.
We were going to the cafeteria to go get food. And I fell into a bush on my way to it. And I was like, ho, 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 look at me. I fell into a bush.
That's so embarrassing for you.
Oh, it was so much fun, though. So fun. I fed Josh mashed potatoes, apparently.
Because he can't eat them on his own, like the baby he has.
Like a baby.
Yeah.
Open
You
up
want
for
your
the
mashed
train.
potatoes.
Anyway, sorry.
Yeah, you can take the monorail from from Epcot to Hollywood Studios.
Those are really big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you
Anyway.
can also take them from deluxe resorts to the parks.
And if anybody plans on going on a Disney trip, you should message us for advice for Amy, because Amy can give you all the ins and outs.
I will give you all the ins and outs in exchange for a Patreon subscription.
Yep. 1 month of Patreon subscription, 2 months of a Patreon subscription
Yeah.
equals
And if you want me to go with
An
you and be your
exclusive
tour
Amy
guide
pass.
Barbie,
that requires a ticket.
Whole year.
Oh, I was gonna say a ticket to Disney. That would be equal.
a whole year
than-
of next door neighbor Patreon subscription is only $60.
There we go. Boom.
And I will go with you.
Yep.
There you go.
After you buy the ticket. Anyway.
Yeah. Okay.
Good.
Anyways, that was
Sorry.
a tangent.
Train.
So, so he took the train. Blah, blah, blah. And just like that, $68,000 went poof. After receiving the $68,000, Daniel decided that he should get off the grid and do some backpacking. So he did that and took things slow.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Should have done that a while ago.
And also he decided that he should really retire this tax fraud scheme.
Yes, you should have done that a while ago.
Yeah. So the FBI's CI told Daniel he had a friend in the baking industry that would look the other way so he could have all of his money deposited into one account instead of all these different debit cards. And on top of that, if he had any money stuck in any accounts that he couldn't access because they're on hold or
Right.
for whatever reason, if he sent them the information, he would have access to that money. And the money would be released. And so Daniel was like, that's such a good idea. Which I think I wrote in my notes. That was Daniel's biggest mistake. So, obviously besides committing the tax fraud.
Yeah, obviously.
But I was like,
That's where he went wrong.
Yeah, one of the things.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the amount in claims Daniel had submitted was over $5 million.
Jeez.
And the total amount he had received so far, including frozen accounts, was $1.9 million. Oh my god. Yeah. So Daniel would use spoofing IP addresses. Please don't ask me what that is. It's like basically like fake IP.
It's fake. Yeah.
Yeah, like it says like it's here, but then it's like, oh, just
Yeah.
kidding, it's Australia, it's in England, it's in here.
Yeah.
So that's basically the gist of what I got from it. So he couldn't track the actual location of where the email is being sent. I should say he, meaning the FBI. Daniel slipped up and one time didn't block the IP address of an email he sent, leading the FBI to a Verizon Air card.
Oh, no.
And the IP address led the FBI to
Which Verizon Air card?
So old.
Yeah, for younger people listening.
Yeah.
That's how you get internet wireless.
That's how you used to get your Wi-Fi.
Yeah,
if
Wi-Fi.
you weren't at home.
You just plug a card into the computer.
Yep. And you had to pay for it.
Yeah.
So I forgot. I didn't put that in there, and I figured we would talk about it. So the IP address led the FBI to a Travis Rupert in the Bay Area of California. And
it's so weird that he stayed in California to me.
Yeah.
It's weird that he didn't like go to different
I mean,
states
California was is like the party state.
But yeah, but like you'd think that he would move around to keep them like off of just to reassure that they'd stay off his tail.
I would think so too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
like the other guy.
But maybe it's because he didn't own a vehicle.
Just don't go to Disney.
Yeah, right. I don't know. Maybe he didn't own a vehicle.
Yeah, possible.
I don't know.
Especially since he was known. Well, he didn't couch surf. Right?
Yeah. No, he did.
Time. Okay.
He couch surfed.
That scares me so much when they do that.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Travis had filed an identity theft. The real Travis filed identity theft claim, and actually the ID used to open that P.O. box that Daniel used.
Which one's Travis?
So the IP address led to an FBI to a Travis Rupert in the Bay Area of California.
Okay.
And so I just mentioned that the real
just
Travis.
Another address. Okay.
What? I'll do it right now.
Okay.
So the real Travis, I just mentioned.
You can order it. You're fine.
He filed identity theft.
Okay. Sorry.
And so, they went down to the post office and they were like, all right, well, this address is going to the P.O. box to a Travis Rupert. All right, fine. But, the ID that he used to open up the P.O. box was fake.
Okay.
Sorry. I was so, trying to do two thoughts at the same time.
That's why I said don't worry about it. You're fine.
But I didn't want to forget. They just want McDonald's. I don't remember why I promised them McDonald's.
Sounds good.
Why did I promise them Apple? Why did I promise them McDonald's? Oh, they were fighting. And I said, if you guys don't knock it off, I won't order McDonald's. They stopped fighting. I love McDonald's. No, it's so good. Do you want McDonald's? I can order you some. Oh my gosh, it's 7 o'clock, Bri.
It's okay. They're not there yet. I don't think they are.
I'm almost done anyways. Okay.
I kind of want to have him on the show now. Not that guy, but Brett. He
That'd
probably
be fun.
would.
He probably would.
He probably would.
That would be
He's
fun.
really cool.
He's really funny too.
Yeah. He's like that in real life. Like that is him to a T. He's hilarious. When I first met him, he said that he was like doing something like in a play. Like he was playing a role in a play. He was hilarious. He's cool.
You should reach out to him. We would get so many followers.
Maybe.
So, using the Verizon Air card tracking through the cell towers, they were able to locate Daniel's apartment in Santa Clara. So, poor Daniel. When interviewing the apartment manager and investigating, they were able to determine that the manager had never met Daniel in person, and the ID that he used to rent the apartment was under Stephen Travis Bronner, which when I wrote that, I thought it said Travis Barker, and I was like, that's funny, but that's not. I had to look back, and I was like, I wrote that wrong. But the photo was the same person as the person in the FedEx store, so they're like, we have a match. So the CI emails Daniel and says, hey, your next cut is $352,000. And Daniel's like, yay!
Payday!
But just like before, Daniel's like, do exactly how I told you before, and the toy and the wrapping
present,
and
right.
wash it and all this stuff. So they're like, all right, this is a big deal. And by this point, they knew exactly where they're to drop it off at this FedEx place. And they had everyone everywhere, FBI agents everywhere, tracking the FBI, the FedEx place, watching his apartment, people in between the apartment and his place. Like, they had people everywhere watching for him. And they waited 4 days after this package had, quote unquote, been delivered. August 3rd, 2008, Daniel leaves his apartment and an FBI agent is tracking him. Daniel catches on that he was being followed, so he takes off running and loses the agent. But with help from the local Santa Clara Police Department, they were able to track him down and arrest him. And while in custody, Daniel didn't care. Oh, so he's arrested, whatever.
Okay.
All right. So I kind of rushed this part because, like, it was very long and daunting.
Okay.
So while in custody, Daniel didn't care for his court-appointed defense attorney, which, why didn't you? I guess he wouldn't have the money. The money would have been seized.
Right.
I was going to say, why didn't you hire a lawyer?
Yeah, you have all this money.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay.
It would have been seized, yeah.
Right.
So he didn't care for his defense attorney, so he is like, you're not being very helpful. You're not answering the questions that I'm asking. So Daniel fires him, and he ends up becoming his own attorney.
It's like Ted Bundy. Didn't Ted Bundy do that?
Yeah.
Which, I mean, like, he probably is smart enough to do it.
Oh, heck yeah. Well, he was.
Yeah.
Because Daniel scored...
Although he didn't have a computer in there, probably.
He didn't have a computer. So he went line by line on all of his investigating files, like everything. He was like so worried, like not worried, but like, how the heck did they find me?
Right.
Because there's no way he did everything that he could to not be found.
But I thought it was the Verizon card.
It was the Verizon card.
Okay.
But they shouldn't have been able to access that IP address.
Right. Okay.
So,
that he knew of. Yeah.
Correct. So he was like, how? How did they find me? And there was one line in an email from one detective to another that mentioned the word stingray. So he's like, what the heck is a stingray? We all know it's an animal in the ocean.
Obviously.
But stingray
killed Steve Irwin.
Yeah.
Didn't.
Basically, stingray is a stimulated cell tower that collects information from a person in question from their IP address that is given and other mobile devices in the area. So
it's like a hotspot, right? Essentially, like a hotspot you can like connects you. Well, it's like a hotspot that runs in the way, like pretends to be the cell tower, right?
Yes. Okay. And it collects all
of
the information.
It's a mock hotspot.
Yes, thank you.
I don't know.
Yes, a mock hotspot. And it collects all the information that you're sending in and whatnot. So what he learned is the FBI didn't have a warrant to use a stingray,
Okay.
which was going to be his entire argument for him to not be indicted.
And that was something that wasn't like known by public, right?
Correct. A
was
stingray,
the big deal
even
with
nowadays,
that.
like I didn't know what a stingray
Yeah, I didn't
was
either.
until I watched this.
Yeah.
So even now,
I
like
wonder if they
it's,
use them now still.
they do.
Oh, okay.
But I'll get to that in a
Yep.
second. With all the money they had recovered from Daniel, plus the gold he had purchased, which was $117,000, 230 ounces in gold, and 588 ounces in silver.
Oh my god.
Yeah, the government actually made a small profit
Oh my god.
off of his
Because of the
his-
gold.
his scheme because the gold had gone up in price.
Jeez. It's up
They're-
right now too.
They're like, oh wow, thanks.
Thanks.
So in
Get a bonus. New cars.
and new cars for everyone. You get a car, you get a car, you don't.
He
you
was like the Oprah
yeah,
of convicts.
Oprah of convicts. So in 2014, initially Daniel had pled guilty to a life sentence for 73 counts indictments for 73 count indictment. With the plea deal, he was allowed to walk free after already serving 68 months in prison waiting for trial.
Jeez. How
And
many years is that?
It's like 5 years.
Oh my
5 years and like
gosh.
8 months, I believe.
It took
Yeah.
him 5 years for that? I thought it was like a year.
No. 5
Gosh,
years.
that
5 years and 8
sucks.
months
That
waiting for
sucks.
trial. Well, and you have to think about it, like at that point the DA is just going to keep pushing it because they're I should say the DA, not the defense attorney. The DA because
District attorney. Okay.
yeah, both of them are allowed to push it. And
Okay.
so with such a big case like this, they're going to push it so that they make sure that all of their ducks are in a row. I'm sure that he needed it pushed too.
Right. To
At
get
some
as much
point to
research as
get-
he could in.
Yeah.
Yeah. That makes sense.
So,
Especially since he was like doing everything without the internet or
yeah,
computers.
exactly.
Although,
He had a shadow
could he?
he had a shadow attorney, someone like basically doing work for him on the outside that he
Okay.
couldn't do.
Okay.
And so if he needed something researched, he had to wait until his shadow attorney visited him. Then he would write
Sucks.
down the question, ask the things to be researched, and then his shadow attorney would go and research it on a computer and bring back
What
the
if you
information.
forget to write down something? That would suck.
That would really
Like,
suck.
oh, I have to wait another week.
Yeah, exactly.
That
So
sucks.
I'm sure that's one of the reasons why it took so long. But I know
Right.
that, I mean, DAs also push stuff out. So ours didn't because ours was a slam dunk case, but whatever. So at Daniel's sentencing, he had told the court that he had not been a part of society and he had taken the government's money that could have helped others. He wanted to come out of the shadows and join society. Daniel now works and lives in Phoenix, Arizona. He consults with American Civil Liberties Union and other organizations in ongoing litigations against the U.S. Against the use of stingray.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so
So he made something out of it.
he did.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So he's helping the public.
He is helping the public and preventing the wrong use of stingray by the
See, that's
Government.
what I like about murder, like non-murder stories. Like murders, you can't really like use.
you
a
can't
murder
take
to,
that
like,
back.
like, okay, cool. So now that you've murdered someone,
Yeah, right.
now that you've stolen all this money and figured out how to screw everybody over, teach
Can
us
you
how
help us?
not to let that happen.
Yeah, exactly.
That's really cool.
Yeah,
That's they like turned it all around basically.
correct. Yeah,
Yeah, that's awesome.
that'd be and I don't know. I obviously like you shouldn't be doing that.
Yeah.
but,
Yeah, but at the same time,
That's the
it's like a
government.
money heist movie where you're just kind of like rooting for the bad guy.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, come on, just give it to him.
What is it? Eat the rich.
Yeah.
Eat the rich.
Robin Hood, man. Steal
Robin
from
Hood.
the rich, give to the poor.
Yeah, except
Although
for
he gave it to all of it himself.
He just gave it to himself. He didn't even give it to himself. That's the thing is, like, he went camping.
Yeah.
I would go to, like, somewhere
to
where...
Disney. To Disney.
Watch the show, you guys.
Yeah.
It's great.
I went to Disney World.
I went to Disney World. Like the idiot I am. Oh, man.
It's a good one. It's a good.
Yeah.
What is it called again?
It's called Web of Make Believe.
Web of Make Believe. Okay.
Yeah,
and it's on Netflix. Yep.
Yeah,
It's very
And
good. It's like 7 episodes.
and each episode is like a different story.
different web crime.
Yeah, but the last two episodes,
Stingray.
episode I think it's like 7 and 8 or 6 and 7, it's called Stingray, and it's about
Yeah.
this guy and another guy. But
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Makes you think about where your money goes and like who can see you. And like whenever you're getting those calls for extended car warranty. Whenever that call I got earlier whenever I had to hang up with you.
yeah, you're like Pensacola.
It's like the third time Pensacola's called me today because I used to live around that
Yeah.
area. And I was like, all right, I'm going to answer this. Maybe it's a doctor's office or something calling me to ask me about something. And I answer it. And of course, they put me on hold.
Oh,
And then they send me to a callback. And then they're like, oh, hi, thanks for calling back. And I'm like, hi, I didn't call you back. You sent me to this number. And they're like, so are you Brianna Schomburg? And I'm like, no, that's not my name. My name's Brianna Schamberg, first of all.
you're such
And
a bad.
I'm like, that's me. And they're like, do you own this and this and this car? And I'm like, I lied. And I was like, no, I don't own that car anymore. And they're like, okay, well, what kind of car do you own? I was like, I'm sorry, what is this regarding? They're like,
yeah.
oh, it's regarding your extended car warranty. And I'm like,
Oh my
I'm not
gosh.
interested. Thanks, bye. And I almost told them, listen to our podcast. I should start doing that every
You
time a
should.
scammer calls me.
You should
Listen to our podcast. What's with the neighbors?
just start talking over them.
Hi, have you checked on your neighbors lately? How about listen to the latest
Become
true crime and
your
paranormal
own.
podcast, What's with the Neighbors? Thanks for listening. Bye.
Become your own telemarketer.
I'm just going to make a recording and play it every
there
time.
you go. I love that.
Great. So I have a neighborhood story for you. That was a
Perfect.
great story, by the way.
That's good.
So this one is called Mouse in a Hot Pink Sweater.
Oh,
Sounds kind of hot.
a mouse.
A mouse in a hot pink sweater.
Okay.
So this is a serious post, no matter how ridiculous it is about to sound.
Okay.
Believe me, I'm shaking my head right now.
Me too.
If anyone happens to see a common field mouse run by in a hot pink sweater, please disregard.
Is it Gus Gus?
My daughter thought it was smart to save a mouse. What?
She needs to wait.
Yep, we're almost done.
Okay, start over.
Okay, so mouse in a hot pink sweater. This is a serious post, no matter how ridiculous it's about to sound.
Okay.
Believe me, I'm shaking my head right now.
Me too.
If anyone happens to see a common field mouse run by in a hot pink sweater, please disregard.
It's Gus Gus.
It's Gus. My daughter thought it was smart to save, in quotation marks, a mouse from our cats today and proceeded to name it Princess Karen and put it in a hot pink sweater. ... It then jumped after it and was put in a said sweater and escaped. No, we don't want it back. No, it is not a pet. It was just giving everyone in the neighborhood everyone in the neighborhood a heads up if they happen to come across a mouse in a hot pink sweater.
Is that real?
It's a post on like Facebook or something.
Oh. Ha. I'm like dumbfounded.
How did you get
How?
a sweater on it? Yeah.
I know.
The little tiny arms. I thought that was cute.
Oh my gosh, it's so Gus Gus.
I love it.
He's like, oh yes,
Gus Gus.
Cinderella, Cinderella, dress me all nice and pretty.
Gus, gus.
Gus
Gus,
Gus.
gus.
Anyways, we're gonna go because we're gonna go play games. So bye.
Board games. So if you haven't heard, you can listen to us on Spotify, iTunes, blah, blah, blah. You know where we can listen to us. And please rate and review us on those two sources that I just mentioned. You can do that, and it really helps us out. Also, you can follow us on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, and Snapchat and Facebook. And we also have a Facebook group now. And that's like somewhere we like to interact with all of our listeners and play games. And we've been getting actually a lot of follows this week. So
Yeah, we
that's
have.
good. But yeah, get into our VIP group. We like to interact with everybody. Also, we have a website, what'swiththeneighbors.com.
And on there, you can find a link for everything that she just mentioned, except for our Snapchat, because I just realized we have not put Snapchat
It's
on
brand
there.
new. WWT podcast.
It's brand new. So, on there, you can find a link to our merchandise, which is fun, cool things on there.
In the works, so
And just bear with us.
we might be making some slight changes, guys.
We're on the struggle bus right now.
Yeah.
But you can also find a link to our Patreon, which is patreon.com/WWTN podcast. And for $5 a month, you can get exclusive content with our videos unedited, our episodes unedited and videoed. Lots of fun things that you honestly miss out every single week if you're not a Patreon
You really
donor.
do, guys.
And for $3 a month, you can get exclusive content and our episodes early. And that's $5 or $3 a month. It's not much. That's less than a cup of coffee nowadays. It's less than a gallon of gas.
Less than a pack of gum sometimes.
Yeah. So just check it out. And also, feel free to slide into our DMs with any questions, comments, or story suggestions.
Choo-choo.
Once a month, we strive to do listener stories. So send in those scary stories or neighborhood stories or true crime. If you know about it, that'd be fun to hear about it if it happened in your hometown. That is at wwtnpodcast@gmail.com.
Oh, can I mention one more thing?
Yeah.
Before you say, have you checked in on your neighbors lately?
I wasn't going to say that.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Just figured.
Yeah.
You didn't change it up this episode. Also, we're not sorry for the doorbell noise.
You know what? Yeah.
We've gotten multiple.
This is not the correction corner.
Multiple complaints of the doorbell noise in the beginning of the episode. Just,
I don't think are they complaints or are they just telling us?
You know, they're not really complaints. They're just more comments of people's dogs barking. Tell us if your dogs are barking. You know what? Maybe they're like rooting for us.
Yeah, that's
Maybe
what
they're
it
like,
is.
whoa, what's
They're
our
like-
neighbors
they're like,
on?
Yeah. You know what? I will say when I was editing that episode this week, Jessie, like, it went
She
doo-doo,
perked her ears up.
and yeah, she perked her ears up like, what was that?
Sorry, but also not sorry. Love you guys.
So, yeah. Have you checked in on your neighbors?
What's with the neighbors?
I thought of something. I can't think of it.
Bri and Amy
Oh, we're going to have
out.
to really get up for
I
this.
know.
Bri and Amy out. Oh, my back.
We need to have like a hand.
Oh, we need hands that can clap.
Can someone make us like hands that clap to each other?
Yeah.
Because we're far away from each other and we can't high
Yeah,
five at the end of
no.
our episode. So
Yeah,
and
thank
anyway.
you. And say hi to your... Oh, should we do cats or dogs? Should we switch it up?
Say hi to your fur babies for us.
Oh, say hi to your
Meow. Or
ferrets for us.
you go meow and I'll go woof.
Right. Say hi to your fur babies for us.
Woof.
No, we're not keeping with that. That sounds stupid.
Hi to your cats for us.
Say hi to your fur babies works.
Babies. I don't know.
Say hi to your skin babies for us.
Yeah, those two. That sounds really gross. Ew. We're gonna be like, what am I listening to?